Hey adrenaline junkies, welcome to Police Pursuit. Today we launch a new fresh series when people messed with the wrong cops.
Hey, stay in your vehicle, hey!
Every reckless choice flips on instant justice mode. Buckle up, let's roll right now folks. On March 7th, 2024, members of the Georgia State Patrol Crime Suppression Unit assisted Atlanta police in locating a white Ford Fusion linked to a vehicle theft. With support from APD's Auto Crimes Enforcement and Aviation units, the suspect vehicle was found in a parking lot on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. When officers attempted a stop for a window tint violation, the driver fled, initiating a high-speed pursuit through residential streets.
795 is trying to stop a white Ford Fusion. Stand by from 28. More slow rolling. Keep going around. Dog switch. He's got a blank around. Give him a second. Probably gonna go that. Alright, we're 1080.
White Ford Fusion, 795, which is 20.
Right on the Burton.
The situation escalated as the suspect, later identified as Jawan Jackson, entered Interstate 20 eastbound at high speed, nearly causing a serious crash. A trooper executed an initial pit maneuver, briefly stopping the vehicle, but Jackson managed to regain control and continued fleeing. A second pit maneuver was then performed, forcing the vehicle into a guardrail and disabling it.
Another pit.
Jackson exited and fled on foot into a wooded area, with officers and a K-9 unit in pursuit. The K-9 briefly apprehended him, but he broke free and continued running across railroad tracks beneath an overpass. With aerial support maintaining visual contact, Trooper Tierney eventually located Jackson and deployed a taser to subdue him. He was taken into custody and now faces multiple charges, including reckless driving, felony fleeing, and obstruction, along with outstanding warrants. On March 3rd, 2022, at approximately 12:38 p.m., police responded to a distress call at a residence on West Beach Street. Yan Lee, 47, was reported to be armed with a knife and refused to cooperate when officers arrived to serve legal papers. Authorities learned she had threatened a maintenance worker with a knife the previous day.
Put the knife down right now.
15 out of 5, one at gunpoint. Ma'am, shh, drop the knife. Don't, just drop the knife. Drop the knife, please. Don't make me do this.
I'm not dropping.
Drop the knife now. I am not a fake police officer. Drop the knife. Drop the. Stark. Show me your hands. Where you at? Where you at? Sheriff Department. Hold on.
After nearly 45 minutes of negotiation, officers forced entry into the residence. As they entered, Yan Lee suddenly lunged forward and stabbed a K-9 handler in the chest, creating an immediate life-threatening situation. Officers responded by opening fire. Yan Lee was pronounced dead at the scene, while the injured officer was transported to a hospital, treated, and later released. The incident remains a tragic reminder of how quickly situations can escalate during law enforcement encounters. In Minneapolis, 2 juvenile suspects, a 14-year-old driver and a 15-year-old passenger, fled from officers in a stolen Kia SUV after an attempted traffic stop. Instead of complying, the driver accelerated, initiating a pursuit through city streets and creating a dangerous situation for others nearby.
Yeah, it's hard not to, he's hard in and out of traffic. Accelerate. Here's a pursuit. Northbound 94, approaching down, taking down, there's a ramp down. See if I can put him out right here. Going right to the light, back on 94 northbound. It's going to be a black Kia, license plate Edward Victor Sam 983. Occupied by one.
As the chase continued, the young driver showed little control, pushing the vehicle beyond safe limits. Incidents involving stolen Kias have become increasingly common in the area, often involving reckless driving and high-risk pursuits.
Light traffic.
Speed's 100 for light traffic. What's the next record?
Yeah, the attempts to go into the west.
10-4. We're letting the locals know right now. 650.
Oh, heavy crash. Drop.
The pursuit came to a sudden end when the Kia crashed, disabling the vehicle. Both occupants immediately fled on foot, attempting to escape into a nearby neighborhood. Officers quickly secured the scene and began searching the surrounding area.
Somebody down there. Is there a partner close? Occupants running. Driver's running. Black hoodie, dark jeans, passenger, tan shorts, black hoodie.
They're running.
Both suspects were later apprehended off-camera without further incident. Due to their age, limited details about charges or legal outcomes have been released, but the case highlights the growing concern over juveniles involved in stolen vehicle pursuits. Dashcam footage released by the Florence County Sheriff's Office captures a dangerous pursuit involving a woman who refused to stop for deputies on July 12th. The driver, identified as 22-year-old Brittany Nicole Jeffords, was initially pulled over for a traffic violation on North Cashua Street. Instead of complying, she fled, immediately escalating the situation into a high-risk chase through public roadways. As deputies attempted to contain the pursuit, Jeffords drove aggressively, striking multiple patrol vehicles in an effort to break free. Her erratic behavior created significant danger for both officers and other motorists nearby. At one point, She pulled into a parking lot, briefly stopping the SUV. A male passenger exited the vehicle and was quickly taken into custody by deputies. But Jeffords seized the moment to accelerate and flee once again. The pursuit intensified as speeds increased and control became more unstable. Moments later, Jeffords lost control of the SUV, which rolled over multiple times. The violent crash resulted in her being ejected from the vehicle, bringing the pursuit to a sudden and chaotic end. Emergency responders rushed to the scene to provide immediate medical assistance. Authorities later confirmed that the incident highlighted the extreme risks associated with fleeing law enforcement. What began as a simple traffic stop quickly escalated into a life-threatening situation, demonstrating how reckless decisions behind the wheel can lead to severe consequences not only for the driver, but for everyone involved. In Tehama County, California, on October 15, 2023, a routine welfare check turned violent when a California Highway Patrol officer approached a disabled vehicle on Interstate 5 near Flores Avenue. The driver, 39-year-old Joseph Michael Pate, refused to lower his window.
Can you roll down your window?
Instead, he exited the vehicle and suddenly opened fire on the officer, who returned fire and struck him.
802, shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. 1199. 802, I cannot tell. It's blackout windows. Stay on the ground! Stay on the ground! Do not do it!
Just minutes later, Pate escalated the situation by firing again, hitting the officer multiple times. He then stole the patrol car and fled, driving recklessly through traffic. Dashcam footage later showed him cutting off a semi-truck, causing it to overturn. The stolen patrol vehicle eventually caught fire, forcing Pate to abandon it and attempt escape on foot. Pat was ultimately apprehended and transported to a hospital, where he later died. The truck driver suffered only minor injuries. Despite being shot in the abdomen, shoulder, and leg, the CHP officer, a 10-year veteran, made a full recovery and returned to duty.
Fire's coming. That's good. That's good.
98 radio should be
In
coming up to 10
Southfield,
miles.
Michigan, on January 31st, 2025, at approximately 9:30 a.m., a man called 911 to report an armed carjacking outside his home on Nagani Street. While sitting in his driveway, he was approached by a suspect in a hoodie who demanded the keys to his blue 2022 Chevy Trailblazer. The suspect, later identified as 19-year-old Hubie Mary III, calmly told the victim to cooperate before driving away.
Running with the gun on him.
Officers quickly located the stolen vehicle and initiated a pursuit through the area. The chase came to an end near Somerset when the suspect lost control of the SUV and crashed into a ditch, disabling the vehicle and forcing him to abandon it.
Crashed out.
As Mary attempted to flee on foot while holding a firearm, a responding police cruiser struck him, preventing his escape.
Put the gun on him.
Running with the gun on him.
Officers immediately took him into custody without further incident. He was not seriously injured and now faces multiple felony charges, including armed carjacking and fleeing from police. What began as a routine vehicle check in Fort Worth quickly escalated when an officer investigated a car linked to a recent shooting, turning the situation into a dangerous and unpredictable encounter.
Hey, MCA! Hey!
As the officer stepped out of the patrol car, the suspect, 33-year-old Doria Thompson, suddenly drew a firearm and unleashed a barrage of gunfire.
We are coming up to South Edgewood from Wyman.
Despite the sudden attack, the officer returned fire while Thompson fled the scene in her vehicle.
See your hands! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands! All right, take your time, take your time.
Lay down on your stomach. Lay down on your stomach. Lay
Take
down
your
on your
time.
stomach.
Lay down flat. I'm ready, Bobby. You ready? I'm ready.
Through rapid coordination and investigative efforts, officers located Thompson at her residence in Arlington. Within 2 hours, she was taken into custody, bringing the situation under control and preventing further risk to the public.
Push that other hand in. His fingers are coming out. Right here. There you go. Yep. Let's get him over to Tack, man.
All right, let's get him up.
In the early hours of April 1st, 2025, St. Petersburg police stopped 65-year-old Marina DeFilippo after she ran a red light. What began as a routine traffic stop quickly escalated when she suddenly fled, brandishing a firearm and ignoring repeated commands to stop.
Front driver's side tire is completely flat. It's about to flail off in here a couple seconds. Pulling up to a stop at 177th Avenue West. 177th Avenue West, Gulf Boulevard.
Officers attempted to contain the situation as Filippo remained inside her vehicle, refusing to comply. Through the PA system and radio, they repeatedly instructed her to drop the weapon, but she continued to resist, increasing the danger of the encounter.
Oh, she's going again. She's moving. She's moving. She's gonna.
Hey guys.
Oh, hey, get back.
Authorities deployed an armored vehicle in an effort to block her path, but Filippo rammed a patrol car, injuring an officer. Even after being shot 3 times during the confrontation, she continued driving before crashing into another police vehicle.
From the front and another tunnel from behind.
Stop! Stop! Still got the gun! Keep fire! Keep fire! Stop fire! Over here. Oh. Firearm, right hand!
Despite sustaining injuries, including wounds to her right hand, Filippo survived and was taken into custody. The incident turned a routine stop into a dramatic and dangerous confrontation.
He looks like he just cut someone off. He's heading
In Macomb County, Michigan, on August 30th, 2021, at approximately 12:40 p.m., undercover U.S. Marshals requested assistance from the Macomb County Sheriff's Office to stop a homicide suspect identified as 32-year-old Kamari Kennedy. The suspect was traveling northbound in a town and country minivan along Groesbeck and was being monitored by undercover agents.
8 railroad tracks coming up the Groesbeck. I got traffic. Going through the grass, Marathon gas station by the Jimmy John's.
through the grass by Jimmy John's.
Southbound Groesbeck now. Looks like we're going to go through 13, set up at a red light.
A sheriff's sergeant located the vehicle near Groesbeck and Cass in Mount Clemens and began following it. When emergency lights and sirens were activated, the driver immediately fled, initiating a pursuit through the area.
Made it through.
Southbound Groesbeck, speeds are now 80. We're approaching Common Road. He's in the center lane.
Center lane, southbound, approaching Common.
I think I'm in a position.
What's your speed?
We are down to 35 for a red light.
The situation quickly escalated as the suspect drove recklessly, attempting to evade law enforcement through multiple roadways. Officers coordinated closely, maintaining pursuit while waiting for a safe opportunity to intervene.
All right, guys, we got open roadway dispatch. Open roadway. Let's take him out.
Copy that. Open roadway is empty to take out. Chief Lyons right up there with him. We're going to take him out. All right, go ahead.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Do not move! Do not move! Do not move!
The chase eventually ended when deputies successfully stopped the vehicle and took Kennedy into custody. He was arrested without further incident, bringing the dangerous situation to a controlled conclusion. On October 3rd, 2020, troopers from the Michigan State Police Metro South Post located a stolen Dodge Durango and attempted to initiate a traffic stop. Instead of complying, the driver fled, leading to a vehicle pursuit through local roadways as troopers worked to contain the situation.
Alright, we're through the lodge, eastbound. We're speeds of 70. And traffic still light. We're 80.
During the chase, the suspect drove recklessly, refusing to stop despite clear signals from law enforcement. Troopers maintained pursuit while monitoring traffic conditions and positioning themselves for a safe intervention. The goal was to end the pursuit quickly before it escalated further.
Alright, there's no traffic on 8 Mile. We're 80 miles per hour. We're continuing eastbound.
Move to Tacoma.
Move to Tacoma.
Back on.
Speeds. 85. Very light traffic. We are going.
After tracking the vehicle for a short distance, a trooper executed a precision immobilization technique, pit, making contact with the rear of the Durango. The maneuver caused the vehicle to lose control and come to a stop, effectively ending the pursuit. Such techniques are commonly used by law enforcement to safely disable fleeing vehicles.
Go back up, Dave.
Up, Dave.
Good ride, you good ride. Got clear traffic. Crash. How?
Still. I don't know what he's doing. Don't pit.
Following the stop, the suspect was taken into custody without further incident. He was charged with fleeing and eluding, possession of a stolen motor vehicle, and additional offenses, highlighting the risks and consequences of attempting to evade police.
Hey, can you turn the camera off, Brendan?
It looked like something straight out of a Hollywood action movie, a suspect driving through a cornfield in a desperate attempt to escape police. But what works on the big screen doesn't always translate to real life. On October 5th, 2024, in Fostoria, Ohio, one car theft suspect believed it might. Police had been searching for the suspect for several days following reports of a stolen vehicle. When officers finally located the car, they attempted to initiate a traffic stop. Instead of complying, the driver fled, leading officers on a pursuit through local roads as the situation quickly escalated. In an effort to escape, the suspect veered off the roadway and drove straight into a cornfield, attempting to use the terrain as cover. However, the uneven ground and limited visibility made it difficult to maintain control, slowing the vehicle and reducing any advantage the suspect hoped to gain. Officers maintained visual contact and continued the pursuit on foot and by vehicle. The suspect's plan quickly unraveled, and he was ultimately taken into custody without further incident. The incident serves as a reminder that real-world conditions rarely favor reckless escape attempts, especially under pressure. On March 10, 2023, Fond du Lac County Sheriff's deputies joined an active pursuit involving city police. As the chase moved through the area, officers deployed tire deflation devices, successfully slowing the suspect's vehicle and forcing it to a temporary stop.
Go ahead, my vehicle.
Still clear to north.
State 362 information. State 362.
Overhead.
Show me your hands! Can you get around to the front door? Can you get around to the side? Should be good. Right? Yep.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
However, the driver quickly attempted to flee again. Deputies reacted immediately, using a bumper tactic to disable the vehicle and prevent further escape, bringing the dangerous situation under control before it could escalate further.
Get out of the car and get chased.
I'm not gonna touch you.
Get out of the car.
Okay.
He's coming out this way.
Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
Car's clear.